Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to cover the complete NCERT Class 11 Informatics Practice Syllabus. Let's take a look at each chapter and its sections to get a clear picture of what you will be learning. Let's begin with Chapter 1, Computer System, where you will build foundational knowledge about computers. The sections are Introduction to Computer System, Evaluation of Computer, followed by Computer Memory, and finally, we will be learning about software. Moving on to chapter 2, which is emerging trends. It introduces you to the latest development in technology. The section includes introduction to emerging trends, artificial intelligence, AI, big data, then Internet of Things, next cloud computing, followed by grid computing, and finally we will be learning blockchains. So let's move on to chapter 3, which is about a brief overview of Python. This chapter introduces you to programming with Python. The sections are Introduction to Python, Python keywords, followed by identifiers, then variables. Next, we'll be learning data types, then operators, followed by expressions, and then input and output. Next, debugging, followed by functions, then if-else statements. Next, for loop, and finally, nested loops. So, this is all the topics we'll be learning in chapter 3. So, next, let's look at chapter 4, which is working with the list and dictionaries. So the first section would be introduction to list, then list operations, followed by traversing a list, then list methods and built-in functions. Next list manipulation, then introduction to dictionaries, followed by traversing a dictionary, then dictionary methods and built-in functions, and finally manipulating dictionaries. Moving on to chapter 5, understanding data. This explores how to handle data effectively. The sections are introduction to data, then data collection, followed by data storage. Next topic is data processing, and finally statistical techniques for data processing. Moving further to chapter 6, which is introduction to NumPy, which covers data analysis using arrays. The sections include introduction, then array, followed by NumPy array, then indexing and slicing. Next, operations on arrays, followed by concatenating arrays, then reshaping arrays, then splitting arrays, followed by statistical operations on arrays, then loading arrays and files, and finally saving NumPy arrays in files on disk. Moving on to chapter 7, database concepts, where you will understand how data is stored and managed. This chapter has the following sections: introduction, then file system, followed by database management system, next relational data model, and finally you'll be learning keys in a relational database. Moving further, chapter 8, which is a last chapter for this subject, introduction to structured query language. So this chapter teaches you how to manage and query data in databases. The sections include introduction, then structured query language, followed by data types and constraints in MySQL. Next SQL for data definition, then SQL for data manipulation, followed by SQL for data query, and finally we'll be learning data updation and deletion. That wraps up the class 11 informatics practices NCERT syllabus. We have covered all chapters and subtopics for better understanding and flow. So enroll your kids in this program and help them master informatics practices effectively. To